welcome back to the next episode of the G&A podcast. I am your precious Kohai, who's still sorry that she threw up on your futon, Jubidu.
And I am your favorite breeder of bloodthirsty bunnies, Sobroni.
And welcome back to G&A podcast, where we talk about all things anime, the good, the bad, and the weeb. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I had myself a nice little vacation this week, so I'm back in work mode. How are you doing?
Could be better. Just
Mm.
a lot of stuff has been happening, and then on top of that, of course, by people should know by now, Chadwick Boseman did pass, so that's been weighing heavy on my heart. Rest in peace.
Yes, rest in peace,
Black Panther. Thank you for everything.
Yes.
But yeah, with that aside, let us get into our new segment named This Week in Anime. Mine is gonna be a bit of a juicy story. So Oni, if you'd like to start.
Yes, I will start us off light with some amazing news. We are going to be getting a second season of Machikado Mazoku, aka The Demon Girl Next Door. This was a comedy anime that aired last year, and in my opinion, was probably the most underrated show last year. It's incredibly funny, and you guys should go watch it. If you're not familiar with it, basically the premise of the story is there is a girl named Yuko. Is it Yuko? I think it's Yuko. And she is basically this airheaded, weak, poor girl from a poor family who finds out that she is cursed with this curse that she must become the Demon Lord. So she sets out to become the Demon Lord and finds out that becoming Demon Lord doesn't change anything about her actual her actual powers or intelligence. So she has to go out and do this thing. And this show is very much like Konosuba in that it's just a parody of the magical girl genre, whereas Konosuba was like parodying of the isekais. So she goes out and finds out she has to kill the strongest magical girl to break the curse. And then she runs into the strongest magical girl, but instead of being the usual hyper, giddy, fun magical girl, it's like this really jaded, PTSD-ridden, like retired magical girl who just doesn't give a fuck anymore and can't do it. And she's super OP and feels so bad for Yuko that she trains her to be like the best demon lord she can be, so that she can eventually kill her and become unbreak the curse. And then throughout the whole story, it's like this little bit of shoujo esque romance develops between them, but it's a very good show. It does a lot of great tropes and comedy and jabs and parodies of the magical girl genre, so highly recommend it if you're looking for a good comedy, and I'm hyped for season 2.
Wait, what is it called again?
Machikado Mazoku, or The Demon Girl Next Door.
Mazoku. I spelled that word completely wrong. There we go.
Yeah. Also, the main girl's voiced by the same person who does Chika from Kaguya-sama, and she is literally just Chika.
For some reason, I really thought you were gonna say Aoi Yuki, and I'm like, oh my god, please no,
no. And it's
more.
Funny because once I realized that, I can't unsee it because the main character has the exact personality of Chika and does the same exact voice, so it's like Demon Lord Chika.
That is incredible. All right. Thank you so much for that, Oni. According to, well, let me actually read the title. Aspiring animation creator alleges corporate bias against diverse creators. I'm sure you guys heard this because this was very public on Twitter. I mean, of course, the one time this happened on Twitter, I wasn't, on Twitter for that. So this is all news to me. But according to Anime News Network, Sarah Issa wrote a Twitter thread on Saturday alleging that a certain huge company that produces animated shows, aka Crunchyroll, is biased against original pitches for shows with diversity elements such as, POC and LGBTQ characters. The company allegedly spilled the tea to to Issa. Issa?
Yeah.
It's like EISSA. I'm gonna call her Issa.
Mm.
Sorry if I say your name wrong, girl. I really don't mean it. But anyways, they spilled the tea to Issa regarding a show they funded that was diverse because it featured an all-girl cast with a variety of body types and LGBTQ plus representation. Instead of releasing a trailer with animation footage, the company released a video highlighting the creators as they talked about the diversity present in the show as a selling point. According to Issa, the company received backlash for this move and is now less inclined to fund shows that feature diversity themes. And this is a direct quote from Issa, from her Twitter. So fuck the creators who use diversity, quote unquote, as a selling point instead of promoting the story, because then a person who wants to pitch a show with an authentic, diverse cast, not for the purpose of promoting diversity, gets put on the back burner because executives will think it'll flop like that other show they funded. But yeah, so excuse me, Issa never said the name, but a YouTube video by Clownfish TV speculated that it was Crunchyroll, and she through her website apparently promoted a YouTube video, that YouTube video. So it's like she's saying it without saying it. It seems like.
So basically, Crunchyroll didn't want to fund this original anime project.
Yes, but not for the right reasons. But we'll get back to that. I just want to finish the rest of the article. Oh yeah, so Issa goes on. Apparently, she comments on the video, said YouTube video on Clownfish TV's video. Excuse me. Basically saying like, "Oh, you're super intuitive as well, and got their facts right." So yes, so she's basically all but confirming. Excuse me. Ray Rodriguez's High Guardian Spice was initially announced as the first Crunchyroll Originals animated project. It was slated to premiere in 2019. But Rodriguez announced in 2019 that the show has finished production. They still do not have a premiere date as of now, which is a little bit sore wachoto. Apparently, Crunchyroll Studios has a non-profit organization called Women in Animation, and their president, Margaret Dean, when she announced High Guardian Spice, she was like, "Oh my god, we have 100% female writings room," but basically she was gassing up the show, which but she just uses like stats of like diversity, like, wow, we have a whole female writing room and who's 50% female, and we're very ethnically and LGBTQ diverse. Like that may have sounded like that was paraphrasing, but those were parts of like direct quotes from.
Yeah, I remember the trailer.
Like she literally said, like those words I said, or was what she said verbatim, just not in that order. Asa tweets that the Woman in Animation non-for-profit is a scam, alleging that the white showrunners of these LGBT/progressive shows hire only other white women. Rodriguez tweets out and says, "Hey, I think he may have been saying this to like kind of maybe try to refute Issa's claims a bit. He's like, hey, I'm a trans man and first generation Cuban American. So I guess he's like, I'm not white nor am I a woman." So, and then it goes on. There's another anime. There's another original show by Crunchyroll, which called Onyx Equinox. Apparently, that show as well has been like, the creator of this, not the creator, the storyboard artist and the series creator were both like, we don't like being pitched as a diversity tool. ... Like that's not all we are. So seems to be, I don't know. It's not looking good for Crunchyroll because it's bad that it's an established pattern. Like this is an established pattern at this, or it's
I
beginning to look
disagree
like.
because High
Not
Guardian
established
no.
pattern. Sorry, I thought it was 3. This is only 2.
I disagree. 2 is not a big number to be like,
It's-
well, 2 projects didn't get funded in all of Crunchyroll.
No, I agree. I just said it's not a pattern.
Okay.
Like I just took back what I just said.
But I will say this: I saw the trailer for High Guardian S3. I remember it was a big deal like a year ago or something. But yeah, it didn't get funded because the trailer was absolute garbage. I mean, like no, like I know it takes a lot of work to work on a series, and I don't want to dismiss any of the actual work that went into it. And obviously, people who worked on it are incredibly talented to put anything out. But this was a series that was very much just sold. Like if you go and watch the trailer, it's like they don't even show anything. It's just them talking about how diverse.
That's the problem. That's perfect. That's the actual problem. Yeah, I'm skimming through it now. I'm just like, oh yeah, really,
it's just like we are diverse. We are diverse, and that's like, and it's just like,
show me the anime.
yeah, show me the
anime. Yeah, which is her whole problem. Which, like I said, I'm just like, oh, this is really bad. It looks damning, and the fact that now she's saying allegedly they don't want to pitch shows anymore because this flopped so hard, or this was so SJW. And it's like, but no one. You could have just showed the anime. Like, it's not her fault. Like, this is definitely Crunchyroll's fault because I don't know why they made this, made the trailer like this.
It's well, like, I mean, it was the people who were behind it. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why they released the trailer in that format or whatever. I think it was just like, it's just like a marketing thing, you know, like
a very sad, like it's a very not sad, a very poor marketing ploy because it's so transparent because it's like it's like I know it's we're sounding like redundant, but it's like you actually have to show like at the very least you have to show the animation of it all. Like
yeah,
they just didn't do that. So. And then that's why this is bullshit because you guys made a really dumb mistake in marketing. Now you're saying, "Oh, we don't. Oh, we might not want to fund shows that have diverse themes." It's like, no, you can. You just have to not be stupid.
Yeah, that's on Crunchyroll for being stupid. If they're going to be like, well, you know, this show with diversities. Yeah, I would say, you know, it's funny because I'm like looking at the art of like what little art there is of the show. You know, it doesn't look like an anime. It looks like
it looks like a cartoon.
It looks like Steven Universe-y a bit. Like I'm all for those types of shows. You know,
exactly.
Interesting designs. Like this could have actually, like, you're in an era where Steven Universe is one of like the best shows of all time.
Of like ever time.
Yeah, this could have definitely sold if you just showed trailer footage and stuff. Like, I have no problem with these character designs whatsoever, and I do like that they're different and diverse, and it looks cute. So yeah, you probably should have led with that. Yeah, I would say if Crunchyroll is taking the wrong lesson from this, it's
so incredibly like tone deaf. Like you're super missing the point. Like the point is on the right, and you're all the stage left. God, Crunchyroll. It's like sometimes you're so dumb. It's like people sometimes just really makes really silly decisions that don't really make much sense.
Yeah, I would say this, just in the future for Crunchyroll, I know you're listening right now because Crunchyroll definitely listens to the podcast.
Oh yeah, 100%.
when you do trailers for anime and do all that stuff, just show the anime. I don't want to see any directors saying anything about just show the anime.
If you want, if you know how we'll know that the cast is all women if you show all the cast and they just happen to be all
Yeah, like
women.
we're not blind, we can see. Like if you just pan over the room and I see a bunch of women, like, oh, okay, cool.
You want to show the LGBTQ representation? You can just show like I don't know two women being together in a very affectionate way instead of just outright saying it.
Mm-hmm.
Like as Oni would say in some of his videos, like show me, don't tell me.
Yes, show don't tell. Show don't tell.
Yeah. Wow, that went a lot faster than I thought it would. Kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But now that we are done with our news, let's move on to our weekly reviews.
Yes.
Oh my god, I love that that rhymes.
True. Where's any chart? Oh, here it is.
Any chart is here, and our first up we have ReZero Season 2, Episode 8.
Bunnies.
Bunny. Do you remember that from Pop-Up Girls?
Yeah, Bubbles.
Yeah, I forgot what that was about.
Damn, I need to go watch back. Go back and watch that episode. But I want to do like a meme where I just loop the footage from this episode.
Oh, with that playing in the background.
With that playing in the background.
As Subaru's getting eaten to death. Oh.
Yeah, no, this was a classic spicy ReZero episode where it doesn't make any fucking sense and Subaru just suffers.
Yeah. Yeah. But yet we're here for it.
Yeah. I do like seeing the roller coaster that is Subaru's emotional state.
Mental state.
Yeah. Like going from super cocky and like I got this to literally being devoured by rabbits. Perfect.
Yeah. And it was just like a super down like it was like kind of started with Garfield killing everyone, especially Otto. Literally
ripped him apart.
Really rips him in half.
Did he kill Rom too?
Huh?
He must have killed Rom too.
Oh yeah.
Fucking asshole. I hope he dies.
Yeah, Garfield went on a rampage and killed everybody.
It's funny, he's also an orange cat. With stripes. I wonder if that's intentional, actually.
Wait, as compared to what? What do you mean?
Garfield, when he transforms into his monster form.
Oh, yeah. Oh, because he looks literally like Garfield.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past them. But, yeah, even though he definitely was giving me Tony the Tiger.
Yeah.
He was like, they're great!
Tony the Tiger mixed with Garfield with, like, a box of steroids. There you go.
But is there cereal in the steroids?
Every box comes with a free steroid.
Come on, free steroids. But yeah, I think he gets thrown into Rampage when Ram is just like, "Oh no, Roswald wouldn't like that," and he's just like, "You know what? Actually, fuck you, fuck Roswald, fuck this shit, and fuck that scary dude who's oozing the mark of the witch or the smell of the witch or whatever." I don't know. Some people smell him. Some people see it. They know it's there.
Yeah, I'm like, all right. So he literally just went crazy and killed the fucking everybody. And then like I'm trying to figure out the train of logic here, and I don't see it. But okay, whatever. I'm not.
Train of logic for who? Garfield.
For Garfield.
There's not much. He's an idiot.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. So there we go.
He's clearly an idiot, and they just got the big mad, and he didn't trust Subaru, and he didn't want Subaru to leave when he's smelling like the witch, the same witch that trapped.
I don't want you to leave, so I'm gonna kill everybody. Okay.
Yeah. Nah. He literally just flew into a rampage, and killed everyone. Like that's literally all that happened. Like there was not really a train of thought. When he went into his big form, he wasn't thinking at this point. He just wanted to kill everyone. Kind of.
Yeah, well, I hope he dies. I wonder I mean, I'm sure he won't, but...
He won't. But yeah, just one. I want him to die once. That'd be cool.
Also, I want these... I don't know what the deal with the bunnies is, but I hope they come back. I hope there's, like, a callback to them. Like, maybe after the end of the arc, Subaru's just, like, looking back at the forest, and there's, like, a little bunny peeking his head out from the bushes or something.
Yeah, I'm just like, damn, what did Puck Whoa, what was going through Puck's mind when he was like, let me make some demon bunnies.
Demon bunnies. Maybe that could be like Amelia's attack now. She just fucking summons a bunch of demon bunnies. Give her an actual purpose to fight.
Right. But yeah, I feel like it's just safe to assume that, you know, Wolf Boy also killed Amelia, and then Puck
Yeah,
was
Puck
like,
went super sad. And
yeah, went berserk. Oh, he's like, huh, you think you can go berserk? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Also, Echidna at the end was a fucking beautiful. I love her. I want her to replace Amelia so badly.
Listen, can we sign the petition?
Yeah.
Start change.org.
Yeah, change.org, please. Please replace Amelia.
Next season, I know you already wrote the story out, but you know what? We won't mind if you deviate.
Like her getting all flustered, and he drinks the tea, and she's like, "And you're drinking my body fluids."
I was like, not body fluids. Ew. Like she didn't say my urine. She said body fluids. We don't know what that consists
yeah,
of.
who knows what that is? Leave it up to the imagination. Very vague. But yeah, no, this was a fun episode. This was a tragically fun episode.
It was tragically fun. Yeah, and then I kind of did feel bad for him at the end when he was like, I can finally like openly say what's happening to me. I feel like that's kind of like that's kind of fucked, actually, not being able to say like the horrible thing that is happening to you.
Yeah, I actually forgot about that for a while. That you couldn't tell anyone.
Yeah, that's like me not being able to say. That's like me not being able to like. I'm being forced to be in the closet.
Maybe this was a metaphor.
No, we don't want him. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. You guys can have Subaru. It's okay. We're good with literally anything.
Otto was the end goal all along.
Oh my god. Otto, once again, sorry, can you please die? Pick up the card again.
Man, no, this was a good episode. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. I know there's one episode that I feel like maybe Oni didn't enjoy.
Oh, thank God you said it, because I was about to say now onto something I didn't enjoy.
Oregairu Season 3, Episode 8. We all knew it was gonna happen eventually.
Listen, I know what the ending of this show is going to be. I figured it out. I'm like 10 steps ahead of the game. I'm making
okay, please share with the class.
I'm going to make my prediction. So what's going to happen is Yui's going to get her wish, because they're going to be like, Yui, you get your wish. And then Yui's going to be like, I want Yukino and Hachiman to be together. And then they're like, okay, we have to grant Yui's wish, so we're going to be together now. And then Yui's just going to be on the sidelines like, I'm going to cheer you guys on the whole way. And then she's going to be sidelined. So that's how it's going to end.
If that happens, this show's going to get like... I was going to say a 5, but I know I'm saying that out of anger.
No, I think this show, if this show ends in such a stupid way, it's definitely
I don't
getting
I don't
really
want to stick to me saying a 5, but like, damn, it's gonna hurt.
I feel it building, because I don't understand, like, I do not understand for the life of me this false urgency of like, the friend group will be forever destroyed now because we finished our fucking thing and nothing is... Like, there's this weird obsession with melodrama in this show where they just can't be...
drama.
Yeah, but there's a difference between actual drama. Like, alright, we're gonna touch on Fruits Baskets later. That I have a lot to say about, because that's good drama. This is just, like, fake drama. Like, why is this an issue for them? I don't...
Well, basically they want to end their friendship because their friendship's kind of like, okay, at least Yukino views their friendship as like toxic.
How?
because of the whole, oh my god, that codependency.
But this is there isn't any like big thing where I can be like, oh yeah, this is a really toxic relationship that you guys have going. Like, I don't see it.
I think because she just wants to be her own bitch, and she can't do that because she's like, I'm going to just keep asking you to do stuff for me, whether you like. It's gonna keep. I understand. I don't like it. I understand it.
I
I don't
don't. It's
necessarily
too
like
like
it.
there's a thing called being too subtle, and I feel like it's for as I'm gonna keep comparing it to Fruits Basket. For as much as Fruits Basket like hits you over the head, where sometimes it gets overboard with it, how over the top the drama is, like that's preferable to there being like this really subtle like thing where it's like, oh, this is codependent toxic relationship, but there's no explicit examples of there being a really toxic, like, you know what I
I
mean? Like,
mean,
there's no key
to be
points I can
fair,
point to that are
to
like,
be
oh
fair.
wow, this is fucking. He just helps you a
I
lot,
mean, if you
and you want to
really
be more
think about
independent.
it, if you really think about it, you look at the past of all the stuff that they've done together, the means that they've gone through for whatever reason, it's like it's not exactly like the most mentally sound things that they've done. Now you can complain and be like, "Oh, why did the show make it?" Da, 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 da. That's another. I feel like that's another like a totally valid but yet different question altogether. But they did like a lot of stuff that they did. It was like really done and really
Okay, but they're high schoolers.
not.
Like the
It's
terminology that
it's
they're
fair. I
using.
said once again, this will go back to the whole like, oh my god, this is great conversation for like or a good plot.
Yeah, like if you know what would justify, this whole attitude, this mentality is if like Yukino had a drug problem and then Hachiman was like enabling her. Like the level of stakes that they're putting on their relationship way surpasses the actual events that are going on in the story. Because from our perspective, it's just all right. Hachiman he's a bit toxic because he puts himself on the line too much. But other than that,
and then she lets
still
him, and then Yukino lets him.
okay. But
Like,
it's like
she doesn't stop, and then but then that also stops her from being her own person.
but it
Which
doesn't stop her from being her own person. She just could be her own person.
Just, I mean, every time there's a no, it's valid. See, the thing is, it's valid. I didn't say it was. I didn't say. I'm not saying you have to like it, but it's sound logic.
You can make
Like,
it. You can construct.
I
You can like all right. Let's put it this way: you can construct out of what's happened so far a situation where there is an adequate level of drama, where it's like, hey, we have this weird group dynamic that we need to iron out because there's too often the case that Hachiman is putting himself in danger, and I feel like I'm not doing enough for the group, and Yukino, you suppress your feelings too much, or you suppress your feelings. Like, okay. But to go to the extreme and be like, we are now forever.
That's my problem because
it's too extreme.
It doesn't have to. You guys don't have to end. You don't have to end your friendship. Like you don't have to end the friendship just because you relied on him.
And that's what I mean when I say melodrama. I feel like it's the path it's taking is not one that it's warranted. Like you haven't built the stakes enough for
it's
it.
Like
this is like
drama,
Kaiba moment.
The bitch who loves drama loves this because it's like if this was just in a different setting, in a more appropriate setting, this would be great. This would be great.
Yeah, if it was better, like if the stakes were better, and it was like I said, yeah, like if it was in college and they were actual adults and they had these issues or something, like, you know what? Yeah, I get it, but
yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm just happy that I understand. I'm like
I get it. It just feels like the way that they're handling it is like I'm gonna call these Kaiba moments. You remember in Yu-Gi-Oh season whatever when they were Duelist Kingdom, and then Kaiba like steps on the edge and he's like, I'm gonna kill myself. Like, all right, dude, chill the fuck out. I get that there's a problem, but you jumping off the edge is way too. This is like the Room level drama building. Your solution to the problem is like way over there, and you did not build to it enough to justify it.
That I kind of disagree. I disagree with them not building up to it because they literally have been doing the same cycle for 3 seasons now. This is the third season.
Just because you linger on it doesn't mean it's like appropriately built up to. It's hard to find the words to describe it. I just like the level of seriousness that they're placing on it doesn't match up to the actual problem itself from what we've seen. Because from what we see, this is just a somewhat minusculely toxic-y relationship that can easily be worked out in like an
I mean,
afternoon of talking or something and just chillaxing.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. Well, at least for Yukino, the stakes aren't that small because keep in mind, and this is another thing I didn't like about, because it's just like you adding in the whole mother who's a certain way. I feel like that just added more to it, but because that's there, it does provide extra stake. Like she's like, I can't. In her mind, she's like, I can't rely on you guys anymore, and if I'm like have this relationship or this dynamic, that's all that's going to happen. Because even now, when I said I'm gonna not rely on you guys, it's gonna be all me, blah 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 blah, and then end up with Hachiman saving her anyways, and she knows, and her mom knows because her mom is like a complete psychopath. Her mom knows that, yeah, you won't be able to, you can't defy me because like, bitch, you can't do anything by yourself. So she won't even get that respect from her mother, which is like a huge thing in this season. How can she get that if her mom is seeing her mom and her sister are seeing her doing the same shit that she did from season 1?
But like,
I
get it.
There's stakes for. I understand the execution is a bit sort of.
It's very over the top execution. Like
I get
like
it,
it's just too serious. It's too serious. It's trying to be. It's trying to be like Fruits Basket when it doesn't have the emotional ability.
Exactly. My problem is they shouldn't have. They shouldn't have had those stakes with like between the sister and the mother and her to begin with. I think that is.
I'm not a big fan of the sister and the mother kind of mucking up the entire past 2 seasons, to be honest. The show works a lot better when it's literally, if you're gonna do it in a high school thing, just keep it in the high school and have it just them being problem solving and working on their issues in the background. I don't know, it doesn't do drama as well as it does.
I feel
comedy,
like
hijinks.
Yeah, it does. It feels like it's trying to do Fruits Basket, and
it's trying way too hard. It just feels unnatural.
But it's like, I think Fruits Basket wins. I think because, well, 1, the story's built up better, and 2, because it has a supernatural element that's like actually very important.
Yeah.
But yet it doesn't take over the whole show.
Yeah, exactly. And I think another good example is Clannad. Like, Clannad is obviously very dramatic and also very funny. But like, it never felt like disjointed, like, because again, supernatural element and all that. I feel like the theme is just, if you're gonna go heavy with your themes in a high school anime and you really want to make it feel like as heavy as it needs to be, probably implement some kind of like supernatural element in there to make it more relatable.
Or just make like make more what's what I'm looking for, appropriate like themes to discuss. Like, you could literally like just grab grab something from like the Degrassi pile.
Yeah, I think this is like Degrassi. You're right, because it feels to me like
this is not like Degrassi. This is not like Degrassi. I feel like it's like it's it's bad when I'm.
Maybe it's because
this is more than Degrassi.
Maybe it's because like I'm an adult.
Degrassi's problems are like they're.
Well, yeah, there are actually actual problems.
Like, happens.
I remember
like,
the school shooter or something.
People get shot in that show. Like, so it makes sense that it's so dramatic. This, it's just like, damn, we can have a toxic relationship for like half a season.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe it's because I'm like older. Maybe if I watched this while I was in high school, because you know how you're in high school and everything feels like it's a big problem and it's like, oh my god, this is the biggest problem in the world. Like, I have no doubt for Yukino this is her biggest issue in the world, but from like an outsider perspective watching it, because I'm older, I just see like, oh, this is just a kid's problem that can be solved in like
I would say the problem with her mom,
will be solved. Like, it's not a big deal.
The problem with her mom is a little more serious. That I will give, which is why
she has a better relationship with her mother.
I'm giving her a wee bit of grace. But it's like, I'm also acknowledging that big problem they should not have introduced to begin with. Like,
but then I agree that her mom's the bigger issue, but then that should have been the focus. Like, it should be like, hey, my relationship with my mom is shit. Let's make this, instead of it trying to be like, hey, my relationship with my friend group is toxic. You know, like I don't know. I just don't. I don't see the big.
Maybe toxic was a strong word. Maybe just very enabling.
But they're high schoolers. There's a lot of enabling and bullshit. They're high schoolers.
Yeah, but like I said, it plays against like the whole thing with her mother, which I'm talking in circles. I already explained that.
I know. I just can't. I just don't see the scale. Like it's just, it still feels very small scale, but trying to act bigger than it actually is to me. Which is like I prefer when it just takes it easy.
That's legit. That is very that's very fair.
Yeah.
Did we even talk about the episode?
There is nothing really to talk about. I mean, they did the thing, and there was a beach scene. Because I can't talk about it when it's so serious.
Oh, they did have the cute moment by the beach, on the beach.
Yeah, that was a nice 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Although I did enjoy the moment where her mom and Hachiman had their little like showdown thing.
Tit for tat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. More moments like that.
Yeah. Although that was, oh man, that was so cheap. I'm like, you really used that moment. You play that card at that time. That's kind of dirty.
Yeah. Also, fuck, her mom is like a sociopath.
Yeah. I told you she's psycho.
He's a sociopath. Like, psycho. What the fuck? Why are you picking on high school kids?
Right. Okay. Like, she's like, oh, I saw, this is just one giant this one giant, fake out. I'm not stupid. I'm like, damn, I didn't even sit down.
Yeah. It explains a lot about her sister then, I guess. Like, it runs in the family. They all just fuck with little kids for no reason.
For no reason. But no, there's just like moments like that where it was just like showing like, hey guys, you're not this plan. We understand what you're trying to do, and it can work, but the quote unquote codependency factor is still very much there. It's not going to work the way you want it to, because Yukino is all about. So you have to keep in mind that another thing, Yukino, I feel like I don't think this show needed a Yukino and a Hachiman.
Yeah.
I think they're both too standoffish. It's like, I feel like you need one character like that, or they both can't be this degree of like, ugh. Because it's like, Yukino is just so intense to the point where it's just like, yes, she's so socially inept that like, for her, this was her way to freedom. Yes, me and all friendships that I have, all 2 of them. This way I'll be independent and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, God, you're doing the most. You're doing the most.
I will forever say the shows.
Hachiman already does the most. We have 2 people doing the most.
I will forever say the biggest issue with the show for me is it tries to do the most when it doesn't have. It really tries.
Yeah, it does the most for things that don't need to be. Like, I agree with you with that 100%. Like the way I just try to like mentally like make sense of things for me, but yet also factor in how ridiculous it is at the same time. I'm like, bitch, I'm already tired. We're already in, and I'm like, listen, let's just break and finish this podcast tomorrow.
Yeah. And I know the rest of the episodes are gonna be like this, so yeah, it was a good run.
Fun. Yeah, exactly. Got a good whole 7 episodes of decentness.
Yes.
All right. Well, let us move on to Fire Force Season 2, Episode 9.
This budget on this show is somehow even better than the first season's budget.
Yeah, they said money, money. Here, take it all, take it all. Because even though it's honestly, weirdly enough, this felt like a filler though.
Really?
Like it did, but it didn't. Like it was just it was just them stalling out so Shinra could talk to like the Fire Ghost woman.
Yeah, but as far as stalling out fights go, this was top.
No, this was good. Yes, no, fantastic fighting though for just like an episode where stuff really isn't happening, like plot wise.
Yeah, Ogun is like my new favorite.
Easily, okay, so it's like who is tied for first, Ogun and the other black man. It's like I don't know which one I like more. They're both awesome. I kind of hope they fight each other. They're really good.
He literally did like the fucking JoJo. Like this episode was filled with a bunch of, and that's what I really like about Fire Force, especially this season, is it's doing this nice little mix of very, very good action, but also knows when to like be a little bit funny and lighthearted, like Soul Leader.
Yeah. It's definitely feeling a lot more like Soul Leader in like the best way possible.
Mm-hmm. Seeing the JoJo references, but also the little when what's his face got punched through the chest, but he's like, oh wait, no, there's nothing there. My body isn't there.
And yeah, that was so funny. Chops off the limbs. The limbs aren't. The limbs also grow back. Quote unquote.
Little fourth wall breaking where Shinra's just like, oh, he's one of those half immortal characters.
That just never dies.
He just never dies.
And then like just the reference to Ogun's power, like just like the whole I forgot. I used to know the name of this back in college. It's like the Yoruba spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know he referenced it before, but like with this episode, they took it like to like the next level. With, like just the patterns on his body. It was such a dope reference. I don't know. I feel like they didn't have to, take the time to like reference blackness in such an awesome way, but I see you, Fire Force, and I appreciate it. 100%.
Exactly. Little details like that are awesome, and just like the style of it all was so cool.
Yes.
So like even his little intro scene when he was like naming his moves or whatever, and he had like the ink background, and it was like all cool colored. It was really cute. But I love the attention to detail in the show.
Same. It's this was for like I said, for an episode that didn't have any actual plot moving along, it was pretty.
Oh, I predict next episode is probably gonna just be one big fight, but
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, no, this is great.
Yes, good episode. I was very happy with that indeed. All right, up next we have God of High School, episode 8. Rip Harry Potter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
forgot about him.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to remember him anymore, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, good. I don't have to remember that. One less character I have to know the name of, because I don't know the name of any fucking character.
I just called him Harry Potter, honestly.
But yeah, no, this was another... Like, it's funny, because the other dude makes a better main character than Jin.
Oh, Dewi?
Yeah, the other short-haired... No. The
tall dude.
No. The one who's talking to Jin in the park.
Oh,
that also knew his grandfather and everything. He was a really cool, not main character.
Ipyo.
Yes, Ipyo.
Can
he be the main character, please? He seems like a really well-rounded character that is both fun and interesting.
So the thing about Ipyo is it's so interesting. For those who know the anime, wait, shit, I have to look up the anime. I know they just posted it. Hitori no Shita, the Outcast, season 3. So there's an interesting parallel between this main character from High School and the main character from Hitori no Shita, and then this Ipyo character and this other guy from said anime. I forget who that other guy's name is, but basically, they both have that relationship where it's like, hey, we're connected to each other in some way, shape, or form, but we are clearly the superior character in a lot of, well, not so much in Hitori no Shita. The main character is actually pretty solid, but the other dude is just, he's so OP and so badass, but and his character is so much better in the third season. Like in second season, he was just kind of like chill, but like in third season, it's centered around him, so he gets really good to the point where he feels like the main character. And so I understand what you mean when you're like, I wish Ipyo was the main character because he's cool. But I will say Jin did get a little bit better this episode.
Yeah, they actually gave him some backstory and stuff.
Yeah, like I don't know, I find his love for his grandpa actually very endearing.
It was cute. It was a nice little scene. I didn't hate him this episode, but he still needs a bit more development.
Yeah, he needs a little bit more, definitely. He needs his character to be rounded out a bit more. I can agree to that.
I also really like the commissioner, the running joke, that one commissioner dude who keeps getting his pay cut for 3 months over and over and over again for doing stupid shit.
Yeah, one scene where he's like asking for money and someone just slams the door. That was pretty great.
I like that it's kind of worked its way into the plot too, because that way it's like, oh yeah, can you trade me or whatever?
Oh yeah, he's like, I'll
cook
for you if you train me. Which I find hilarious.
So that's a little bit of good way to make a joke into a plot point.
Yes, very seamless.
Yeah, I'm really liking the cast in general. I think, funny enough, I think Jin is the weakest part of the cast, but they're working on him, so I'm assuming.
I honestly want Daewoo to be the main character. I like Daewoo.
I like everyone. I love all the characters except Jin.
Yeah, so I think Daewoo's like a favorite of mine. I don't know why. He just seems like a more gentle soul.
Yeah. Also, fuck the shark guy that just shows up and randomly has a shark.
Tries to kill people constantly.
Yeah, like, oh, here, I'll just fucking attack you with my shark. All right, peace. Like, fuck you, dude. Why are you just attacking random people with your shark?
Yeah, like homeboy, like Ipyo being cool again. Oh, first of all, that one scene when they're like, where they do like get stuck in a very homoerotic position. Oh my God.
I was waiting for them to like
for days.
Yeah, no, I was definitely like, are they gonna kiss?
The fanfics, it's over.
Jin can do a lot of things with his legs. He's very flexible.
Oh yeah, and then like at the end when they had like a birthday, like that part was just like, oh yes, you're not all about fighting, like you guys, the whole birthday thing, like I was like, that's sweet. I feel like there's not enough of those moments in anime where it's like, it's all, I feel like 90% of the time it's like, yay, or specifically with like supernatural stuff or shows with supernatural elements, it's more like, yay, we bonded through trauma and not dying. Now we're friends. This wasn't the case. They were just like, oh, we're friends. It's your birthday. Happy birthday.
Yeah, I'm enjoying that they're it's getting a lot better, I think, compared to the first few episodes where I had some issues, but I'm enjoying it a lot more now.
Yes, indubitably. Okay, let us move on to Kanojo Okare Shimasu. Episode 8. Episode 8.
So, did you cringe as hard as I did for like half this episode?
You know, it's so funny. Now that I'm older, I didn't realize. I think looking back as I was younger, I didn't realize how like off I felt about stalking until like now I am older and realizing that's like a crime for a reason. So like it already started off being like ugh, when he like jerked off to what's her face in the shower. But I'm like, okay, he's is it sad? It's like I'm like he's jerked off to worse. So
Yeah, this is not his worst.
yeah, this is like
session.
this is like normal degeneracy, like not some next level shit. So I'm like, whatever. But yeah, but then he actually just starts stalking Chizuru and just starts making a thing to do in his head. I think it's not as we don't demonize it this much because I think usually it's a woman doing this, like stalking like another woman or something like that. A woman stalking a dude or whatever, just anime plot. But now that we're watching like Kuzia do it, I'm like, oh yeah, no, this is gross.
Yeah, it was really bad, and it's just like.
It made me uncomfortable.
Oh, it was so hard to get through this episode, especially when he fell at the end in front of both of them. I just had to like pause the show.
When he started crying, I was like, "Girl,
oh, he's such a mess. I don't like him." She should just stop being so nice. Her only flaw is that she's so nice to him. Well, stop it. Stop enabling him.
She gave him the gift.
I was upset. I was like, bitch, I would have thrown that.
I'm like. So you're not straight up just like being like, wow, you're a total creep for stalking me. Stay away.
But she's so nice and pure. That's why I love her.
I'm gonna give you a gift instead.
But that's why, like, it's a paradox. Like, I love her because she's so kind-hearted, but then at the same time, she's so kind-hearted to this fucking degenerate piece of shit that just stalked her all day. Also, can we not lose the irony of the whole first half of this episode being him complaining that Ruka was stalking him too much and being like, oh, she's so obsessive about me.
And then he sees the stalk.
Yeah. Talk about toxic relationships.
The whole premise of Ruka's relationship with him is like super problematic and borderline illegal.
I kind of hate Kazuya though, because he was complaining at the same like, I have no one to spend Christmas with. Ruka is right the fuck there.
Right there. Just say you like the other girl and go and don't stalk her. Like go, but don't go towards her.
It's like everything he does is the worst possible decision you can make as a human being. I can't. I cannot. I can't. I don't want to ever meet. I don't want to meet anyone like this ever in my life.
Yikes! That is quite the quote, and yet.
Although there
I feel like there's a lot. Listen, I'm gonna be completely honest. There was a lot of men like this, but who weren't this bad, or like this had this energy in college. A lot of them.
Oh yeah, no, there's a lot of people like this. Like Kazuya is definitely hyperbolic
because they're immature, just like him. So I've seen this behavior a lot. This is like peak, like ugh.
But the thing is, like, I would get it if they were in a relationship. Like, if he, like, well, I still wouldn't even get to stalk. Like, I wouldn't stalk her all day, but
I wouldn't stalk. I would literally just be like, "Oh, this is my girlfriend. Who is this?"
Yeah, wow. Exactly. He's very creepy and cringy. I will say that there was two very good attention to detail moments in this episode. One when he was looking over his voice or his text messages with Kiba, and one of them was literally just them texting dick to each other. It was just like dick, and then he texted back dicks. I'm like, all right, that's a very authentic conversation that I would have in college with one of my friends. So point to.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I've definitely just messaged someone at 3 o'clock in the morning, just like dick.
Okay, I wouldn't do that 3 o'clock in the morning.
I would
say something I've done it. Silly, but I just wouldn't just say dick.
Well, that's the point. You wake somebody up at 3 o'clock in the morning with just dick.
Oh, straight men are weird. Straight men are really weird.
Hey, I've had some. I'm not gonna get into it. That's a really weird. I'm not gonna bring it up. Anywho, the other thing.
Oh, you're not helping my argument.
The other good attention to detail moment was the phone case that she got had fishes on it, which is I guess a callback to him loving aquariums. So. You know,
I thought it was fish, but I didn't realize that's because he likes aquariums.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing that's why, because he didn't. That's like the only thing she knows about him. So yeah. I'm glad she sees even more kind-heartedness.
And I saw any of what happened, I would literally just call him a freaky fish boy and just be like, "Yeah, that would be my nickname for him."
Freaky fish guy. Bless you.
Oh, excuse me. Oh,
I
sorry
love
about
you,
that.
Cheese Dew. Oh, well. Poor Cheese Dew.
Well, let's move on to a potential couple that's way more wholesome and happy.
Mm.
Uzaki-chan wa Sobitai, episode 8.
Yes. This one was slow, but I appreciated it.
Very slow. Yeah. It was definitely like entertaining at some points. What I call them now Team Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
They're so messy. And I'm here for it. They are so messy.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like a lot of romantic comedies need a character like this who was just like there to be the observer and enjoying the whole scenario that I can self-insert as.
yeah. Also, the opening scene was hysterical. That was arguably like the best part of this episode. One of the best parts.
Yeah, that was great. I really like the little scene where he keeps like complimenting her, and then like she slowly starts getting back to normal, and until she's just like, oh yes, I am super cute. You're right, senpai. I thought that was really adorable. Just seeing
Yeah,
her.
it's cute. Also, her outfit was so cute. She looks so cute with her on.
She always looks cute. Her hair was great.
Yeah, no, usually I don't like her hair looks a little too meh for me, but it was pinned up this episode. At least the side of her hair was pinned up, so that was really cute.
Her high school. Her high school.
High school.
Stuff.
Her high school persona is adorable.
I like that her hair is slightly longer, but it's because it's more realistic. It's not super short, but it's like slightly long enough that you like. I like that hairstyle better, to be honest. Like slightly longer hair, but yeah, no, it was. I like that they linked it back to the high school scene where they were also at the festival. Gives a lot more context to their relationship, and not just, like,
why she probably feels the way that she feels. Yeah, it was a slow one, but it was more on the romance this episode. Like that's why it was so slow. So I'm okay with that.
Less comedy, more romance. It felt like a final episode though. It felt like this should have been the last episode of the season. I'm glad it wasn't, because this would have been a pretty disappointing final episode. I'm just saying it had like last episode energy. So I'm glad that we got. Hopefully, the last episode's more fun.
Probably. This anime.
Yes, it's very wholesome.
Yes. All right. Well, you're done with that. Let us move on to. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, Fruits Baskets, season 2, episode. Nope, I got it. Don't say it. Episode 21. Season 2, episode 21.
This is my episode of the week. I cried.
Yeah.
It was one of the few anime to elicit tears from me. Episode.
Yeah, it was just. Well,
I don't even like Yuki.
All the Yuki fans are now looking at us being like, well,
that's how good of a character he is. I don't even like Yuki. He's like one of my least favorite characters on the show. Yet he's still so compelling as a character that I can't help but cry.
Yeah, they just made him so much better. And then they just put all of season 1 to perspective.
That scene where he guides Toru back, and then he sees her with her mom, where he's like, "Oh yeah, somebody did need me." I couldn't take it. That's why I lost it.
Well, I think I was already at a very like low point last week when I watched it. So for me, this is just like depression porn. I was like, but it was still a great episode. Like the depression porn reasons aside.
Yeah,
it was just like, oh my god, my heart. And it just showed like the systematical like breakdown of like his mental
entire
state
life, yeah.
As a child, how just from like the beginning,
and how shit his mom is. Oh fuck his mom. Oh, I hate it when she slapped him. I went, fucking hate his mom.
Yeah, like his parents are like. Can we call CPS on like everybody?
Yes, please. I like how all the other someones were like, one of the lines in the show in this episode was literally like the gossiping about Yuki's mom, and then being like, oh, even for a Zodiac's mom, that's kind of extreme. Like, yeah, they recognize that the Zodiac parents are absolute shit, but even among the shit tier parents, she's particularly shit.
Yeah, because they're like, damn, you kind of just sold your child. You sold your child.
Mm-hmm.
You sold your child and just let him get abused for. I mean, yes, I'm assuming Akito. It also did show a reason why, like, why Akito gets away with all the things he does is because they just covers it up. I didn't for some reason I didn't think about it because we see it so explicitly.
Mm-hmm.
But now that like I saw this flashback, it like puts it in perspective. Okay, they Akito's allowed to do all this because no one knows except for the other Zodiac.
Yeah.
And at this point, who's going to believe who's going to believe them? Like dot dot dot.
Yeah. But this is my point also going back to Oregairu. The like sometimes subtlety is good, but if you're too subtle to the point where I can't empathize, then the drama doesn't have as much of an effect. At least with Fruits Basket, for as much as it breaks your back with how dramatic and over the top it is, I can empathize. Like I understand why Yuki is the way he is, and it makes me feel more emotionally invested.
Yeah, the way you know what did also don't would make me almost cry though.
What?
It wasn't the part where he said at least someone needs me. It was when he literally was talking about Toru and then compared Toru to a mother. That fucked me up.
Yeah.
That fucked me up. I'm like,
Yeah.
your
Ugh.
life was so trash that you literally have no choice, like, but psychologically connect the girl you kind of have feelings for
Mhm.
to your mother because you wouldn't know what a mother figure is like.
There's a whole batch of Oedipus complex in that
Like,
boy.
whoa, like
Freud would have a field day.
oh my god, that fucked me up. I was like, what? I had to play it again because I was like,
Yeah, that was like, and that was a twist too, because I wasn't expecting the mom zone Toru.
yeah. And I'm like,
I thought he was actually going to come out and say, "This is why I want Toru to be mine," but instead he's just like, "No, she's like my
no,
mom."
but he just needed a female figure to show any female figure to show him unconditional
And
love.
it's more believable that way because it's like he didn't have that love growing up from his mom, so it's understandable why he views Toru
Not
that
just
way.
his mom, from everyone.
From everyone.
Yeah, no one showed him any kind of affection.
And when he was like, "I just wanted to be friends with Kyo," and then seeing why Kyo hates you, it all came together. This was like
and
it
makes me feel so bad for Yuki because it's like, damn, it's not Yuki's fault that Kyo hates him, but it's not Kyo's fault either. Like, it's and then even though this in no way does this make me dislike Agito even less. But it did show for brief scenes that Akito also want to do some shit.
Yeah, it gave context.
And I still hate his guts. Still want to kill him.
Doesn't excuse him.
But I guess he had to go through some shit, or he was like brainwashed in some way, being the head of the Soma clan and having that responsibility. Like, I think someone did something to him really bad, and one thing that happens when someone gets abused, they continue that cycle and just give it to some other people. That's what happens. That's how bullies work. Bullies are bullies because they're getting bullied in some way or form, or abused.
This was just an amazing episode because this was one of the best episodes. It really was.
Yeah.
You have so much context to so many of the characters, and it hit me hard.
Yeah. Like Akito really just wants someone. Akito's tagline is literally "Misery loves company."
Yeah.
TM. Oh my god, yeah, this is a fantastic episode. Really good.
Definitely.
Is that it? Can I go on to the next one?
Yeah, that's before I start crying.
And for our last anime on the lineup, we have to Aru Railgun T episode 21.
Sure.
Yes, 21.
We're finally getting, I guess, back to the main plot of the poker game or Indian poker.
Indian poker. Yeah, Shoko and Misaka are finally pairing up.
Yay.
But before they do, of course, Shoko just has to subject Misaka to torment.
Trolled the shit out of her.
I.e. just getting flamed by like a 5-year-old.
What kind of fucking loser would want a breast up card?
Yeah, damn. She's like, your titty's so small, the card can't even work. You must suck. Like, that was hysterical.
It's funny because Misaka in this episode, or in this series in general, has so much more personality and is such a better character. Maybe because we don't see her enough in Index, but she just feels like a totally different fucking character sometimes.
She is. No, she is. No, she's just a character, period.
Mm-hmm.
She's just a character in this series. She's not a character in Index. And not anymore.
She's just a plot device in Index. And here she actually gets to be a character.
She's like a side. She's not even a side character. She's just a character. She just does cameos.
She's just a cameo appearance.
Exactly.
Yeah, like her when she's flipping out over Shokuho and just like grabs her breast and then starts obsessing over it and gets like mind broken over it. Oh.
Yeah, like to the point where she's still doing it after they sit down, and then the homegirl slaps her.
He's the shit out of her.
She's like, hey, stop talking about my titties.
Mm-hmm. There was a lot of good moments like that.
Yeah. This episode was very like enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. Also the moment where Shokuho's like talking about the cloning things, and then Misaka just like quickly shoots out that electricity and like makes her hair fly up. And then she has to go back. Like, there's a lot of little moments, like, because, they have to do so much. This whole episode was just exposition. But that's expected from Index. But the way that they switch it up by having, like, little fun, cute moments and stuff in between the exposition makes it feel so much better than what Index does, which is skip all the exposition.
Yeah, no, this is definitely, a more fun episode, which... Well, not fun episode. This is more plot-driven episode. Excuse me, but they still kept it light at certain parts. Of course, I don't really understand the whole splitting two people, giving one a soul and the other one not a soul. I'm like, whatever, girl, you got it. I'll let you guys have that.
It's gonna get very philosophical.
Yeah, very quick. But yeah, it's looking pretty enjoyable. The group that they introduced at the end, are they from a previous season?
They're from the Accelerator anime.
Okay.
Which, by the way, if anyone in the comments wants to let me know, how good is that Accelerator? Because watching watching Railgun is making me like rejuvenate my my love for the series. I want to go back, and if it's good, I want to watch it. But I don't know, because Index is so hit or miss. Like, you could get, like, Season 3 of Index, or this season of Railgun, which is amazing. So, I don't know. Yeah. The quality is all over the place.
It truly is. It feels like you definitely have different writing teams at this point.
Mm-hmm. So, is Accelerator's anime more like Railgun, or is it like Index? which at this point is weird, because I feel like Railgun's the better series.
Yikes.
I don't know. The anime has ruined me. It spoiled my opinions.
Yes, chat, please let us know indeed which is the better one. Okay, so that ends our weekly review, And now we are going to end off the podcast with the filler, arc. So my question for this week,
Mm-hmm.
we touched upon this, and I feel like you dismissed it, and you're like, it's okay, but I thought about it hard, especially with this recent episode of Fruits Baskets.
Mm-hmm.
Because I dropped it out of the sake of like time management.
Mm.
I didn't want to go into it further, but I'm going to bring up the question yet again of should anime have trigger warnings? Now, when I say trigger warnings, I mean something like excessive. Like, not just like, oh my god, I got shot, or, ooh, this is kind of gory. I mean, like, drug abuse, child abuse, rape, all of that, like, very specific traumas.
Like, I think that they should. I mean, like, if you're watching an anime, it should definitely be listed like, hey, this is for mature audiences, which they already do. I don't think you necessarily need to go out of your way.
Ratings are very general. They're just like, oh, it's sexual, like, oh, it's sexual, but it's not saying, oh, this episode is gonna have like rape in it. I don't think most rating systems like put that in there. They'll just be like nudity, sexual stuff, cursing. Like they keep it general.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I personally feel like there's just some moments where it's just like, you know what? Maybe like it wouldn't hurt. Like it doesn't have to be something like crazy. It just has to be like, hey, so this episode has like this in it, and it's like, I guess someone can make the argument like, oh, what about spoilers? But just like,
I was gonna make that argument.
Exactly.
Like you don't have to be super specific. You could just be like, hey, there is explicit sexual content in this episode.
But that can just be sex. See, that's the problem.
Okay, but I feel like if you're just gonna be like, there's rape in this, like, yeah, depending on the anime, that could be a huge spoiler. Like, all right, but here's the thing: like, if I'm watching Madoka, for example, and you put in trigger warnings like, hey, by the way, this is a gory, everyone's gonna die. Like, all right, well, thank you. You just kind of like if before episode 3 you were like warning there is decapitation.
I said specific trauma. See, that doesn't count.
There's decapitation. Warning. There's decapitation. And if before episode 3.
Okay, so you're not understanding the whole point of a trigger warning. By just as you're talking, I can get that you're not kind of understanding the whole point of a trigger warning.
No, I get the point of a trigger warning. It's just that you wanted to apply specifically.
That's not like you know, for the sake of your argument, that's not an appropriate trigger warning because no one's going to be traumatized over getting their head lopped off.
I don't know. What if my father was decapitated and it's like traumatic for me to see somebody lose their head?
But that's like, that's even more specific than like a rape. Like that's incredibly even.
Like I said, I'm fine with there being just like rating. Like if you want to do like a rating, I don't think you need to go out of your way to be like all right, if you're gonna do a trigger warning,
I think at the very least, I guess maybe to circumvent that, I think maybe you should just start it like at the series, at the beginning of the series. I think that's fair.
That's still a spoiler. Like again, if you put in the beginning of Madoka, hey, there's gonna be a lot of traumatic themes in this show, it kind of ruins the fact that it leads up to the big twist that it's more mature than it lets on.
But as of right now, there's nothing I could see as like a trigger warning for Madoka.
Well, like I said, if you're gonna open the door to trigger warnings, it's not gonna be just your specific trigger. It would have to be like everyone's triggers. So it'd be like, hey, is there
general ones that like are accepted as trigger warnings. That, like, I'm not saying this because this came out off the top of my head. Like, they already exist, and from the ones I've seen, it's not like, oh, this has totally ruined my experience for the show. I'm like, no, the show's really fine. Like, for example, HBO's Euphoria. They told you right from the get-go.
Well, Euphoria is a hentai. I don't think hentai needs trigger
No, not
warnings.
hentai. No, there's another show called HBO's Euphoria. Excuse me.
Okay.
They were like, yo.
Imagine a trigger
like,
warning in Euphoria.
They're like, hey, so there's like drugs in this show. Like, there's like drugs in this show. And then some of the episodes, I think they may have preluded to like sexual assault. It didn't make the episode suck. It did not, because yes, you know what's gonna happen, but you don't know who, you don't know the premise, you don't know where, when, how.
Like, yeah, if you're vague about it, I'm fine with it, but that's the point. Like, sometimes, like, if you're gonna be super specific and be like, hey, there's rape in this episode, or there's rape in this show, you know what, people are gonna, it can spoil elements of the plot. Like, if the rape of the character is central to their character.
If you don't know when it's coming.
But then I'm going to be looking for it. I'm going to be like, oh, one of these characters gets raped later. It's still a spoiler.
Okay, so for that argument, that's like saying in Game of Thrones, if I would have told you there's gonna be rape in Game of Thrones, would that make Game of Thrones any less?
If I didn't
good?
know anything about it, no, it wouldn't have made it less good. But if you told me that. First of all, it doesn't make sense because Game of Thrones, that's a different example, because Game of Thrones is very...
This episode...
Saying there's rape in Game of Thrones... Saying there's rape in Game of Thrones is like saying that there's people drinking alcohol in Game of Thrones. Like, it happens so much that it's not a gigantic point in the plot, but there's a lot of anime where, like, there may just be, like, one rape scene and it's very relevant to the plot. So, I feel like that's not a fair comparison.
But if you don't know when it's coming throughout the whole series,
okay, but because it's still alluding to it.
Look out for it.
It could be a plot twist or something. Like, you're just giving away an element of the story. Generally, when there is like something like a rape in anime, unless it's something just super gratuitous, it's relevant to the plot in some major way, or some character in some major way. You know, it's like, because if you tell somebody there's rape, they're going to start looking for it. They'll be like, all right, which character, let me look for the signs of the person who was raped. Like, it ruins the experience of it being a plot twist. Or it being, you know, surprising.
I don't think it's that, like...
I think just being general and just say, like, we have ratings for a reason. TV, MA, there is explicit sexual content.
I mean, come on. I feel like that didn't... First of all, I didn't do much good for Goblin... What good did I do for Goblin Slayer? I feel like...
Okay, well, people overreacted to Goblin Slayer, like, maniacally. There is... Alright, can you at least agree that there is a portion of society that is... Like, I wouldn't show Goblin Slayer to a kid, obviously. But there is definitely a portion of society. If you're 18 or 19 or 20 or over,
I wouldn't show it to a victim of sexual assault either.
Okay,
yes, that's fine for you and I, because
yes, I'm not forcing anyone to watch Goblin Slayer. But I'm just saying there. If your reaction to Goblin Slayer having a sex scene is to like throw a tantrum and go crazy on Twitter and like call it anime shit and say it's like the worst thing ever, then yeah, that's a you problem. That's not a Goblin Slayer problem.
I didn't say Goblin Slayer is bad. I'm not saying, oh my god, yeah. Like, you know, people who seen us cover Goblin Slayer, y'all know how I feel about that right at this point. And if you don't, I'm not gonna tell you to go back and watch it. But basically, for me, it's like, yes, that was extreme, but not enough for me to hate the whole anime in itself. I'm just saying maybe it could have been different if they would just be like a quick little boop, like at the top. Hey, this is gonna have some...
I think they did add something, but I don't know if they said it was rape. I think they just said like very explicit content or something.
But see, it's like if you keep it that's just a generic ass rating.
But a rating should be good enough. Like, hey, this is for 18+ audiences, and it has very intense sexual moments and very intense language. Like, how specific do you want? That should be enough. You know what you're getting.
words.
Like that entails if it says explicit sexual.
No, because that's not a trigger warning. That's just you being vague. That's still vague. That's still vague. All you're telling
That's
me
not
that's
vague. It's a very specific type of content that the show's gonna have. It's gonna have explicit sexual content on a TVMA. So wait, if you see explicit sexual content TVMA, what do you think? Like, what is that? Like hand holding? Are they gonna kiss? No, it's just sex in general. Yes.
Okay, but like,
but your mind should encompass all things sexual. There might be nudity, there might be rape, there might be anything that would involve it being sexual in any way is included in this category.
That's so unfair then, because it's like now this happens to me now.
Okay, but then you're going too vague because you want it to be too specific.
I just send out someone to scout it every time I see that rating.
Okay, so then what we're gonna do every time that there's some people get triggered by like child, like are we gonna specifically label when there's child abuse and things, or specifically say when there's like there may be a traumatic moment with a teenager, so now we got to specifically like your opening paragraph of the show is gonna be like a giant wall of text of like caution, rape, trigger, child abuse, like there has to be a shorthand.
If a young
murder,
a young child, for example, if Yuki got the living mess beat out of him by anyone in this episode, I've been like, yeah, you know what? Let's put that trigger. I wouldn't have made the episode any worse or any less impactful because it's Yuki's. First of all, it's Yuki's past. I'm surprised he did not get. I'm surprised he didn't get tossed out the other window right alongside with Rin. To be perfectly honest.
I mean, I just feel like the warnings we have are good enough because the whole point of the warnings is basically. I think my underlying problem with it is like the ratings and the warnings they're good enough, and they're generally made to like prohibit like children from seeing objectionable content. And if you are an adult who's sensitive to certain content, then you know what you're getting when you get into it. I don't think it needs to be more specific than that.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. It kind of like it just feels. I don't know. It's like it's not like I'm so whoa. This is my stand. I'm gonna die here. I just feel like it's a bit too slippery, slopey, and coddling.
Yes, I know. Even though
like there's plenty of objectionable stuff I see in anime, and I'm like, oh, I don't like this, but I'm not gonna like demand the trigger. Like I don't like seeing. I'm squeamish. I don't like seeing innards. Yet if I see an anime, I'll be grossed out by it and skip past it.
But you see.
I don't need a warning saying there are going to be explicit images of like organs in this episode of this anime.
Like, first of all, a total point of trigger warning is for people like with actual trauma. You're clearly not traumatized by it. You just don't like. You're squeamish. Being squeamish is not equal. Like, oh, this is like trauma. Like, oh, I did not like. Oh shit, I saw this, and now I may be having a panic attack, or now I have to go see a therapist.
Okay,
or now,
but that's.
It's just like, oh,
lots of people get panic attacks and triggered and trauma for like lots of various reasons. Which is my point. It's not just rape or just child abuse. Like there could be a lot of different categories.
Yeah, but I feel like even within like the scope of trigger warnings, like there are the general ones like sexual assault, like child abuse, like drug, like those are very I feel like those are not super non-specific traumas and things that people like. That's very commonplace, unfortunately. And I don't know. I just think it's something that potentially just should be like,
I'm not 100% against it, but I'm not. I don't think it's necessary.
And I would also have to look up Japanese rating system. No, I don't want to look at pictures. Is this for games? This is for games.
Probably games.
This is games. There is rating for. What would we say for TV?
TV ratings. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm putting it up on the Wikipedias. The Wikipedias. So I'm not. Wait, where's Japan? Where is Japan? Where is Japan? I'm about to feel like I'm stupid. I'm like, wait, do I not know my alphabet? A B C D E F. Wait, no, control find. That's Japan. Okay, well, never mind. Japan apparently is not in here. How does the TV thing? Da, 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 blah blah. Okay, so I. Oh, someone. Yeah, I've tried looking for it, but I don't think I can find it per se. Oh wait, hold on. I found it. So it's very similar. It's very similar to the U.S. one, and but also which is like it is also very incredibly, you know, seems very general, like PG-13. They have one for 15 and up, which we don't have, and then they have the R18. So it seems like the same.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's the same system across the world.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's.
I'm just saying they have sometimes have warnings for shows in the US, and I'm sure they were like good. I don't know. It's just I'm not super like let's do this, but I'm definitely like it's something to consider, at least for me.
Yeah, I would say if it's something that doesn't spoil the show, like by revealing a major plot element, and as long as you don't go overboard with it, then I'm fine with it. But at the same time, yeah, I don't think it's something we need.
Okay. Well, that I can. Yes, you. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I tried saying like three things at once. Basically, I'm trying to say duly noted. Chat. This is not Twitch. People who are watching this, feel free to comment below and let us know what you think. Is it that serious? Is it not that serious? How do you feel about general trigger warnings for some of the stuff that you've seen in anime? Let us know what you think down below in the comments, and only if you'd be so kind to take us away now that the filler arc has reached its conclusion.
Yep, guys, if you enjoyed this episode of the G&A podcast, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you can catch it as the podcast goes up every single week. Also, if you haven't already, do follow us on Twitter, follow us on Twitch, and join the party over on our Discord, all linked in the description down below. If you'd like, you can even become a patron by joining us over on Patreon or clicking that join button underneath the video. You can get some awesome perks, including being a part of our live watches where we watch ReZero every week with our patrons. If that sounds interesting to you, make sure you check that out. Drew, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And once again, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. You will be dearly missed.
Yes. R.I.P. Until next time. See you guys later.
Bye.
Later.